The US Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, released a statement that India could buy as much oil from Russia as it wants, along the lines of the price cap mechanism. While somebody from the Indian side said that we do not have to follow the price cap regulations. How is this shaping the new consumer seller relations between India and Russia? And is the US resigned to Indian adamancy over crude oil procurement from Russia? So yes, the Americans were insisting that see, this price cap, we don't know what it is. It's not been announced yet. Maybe it will be announced in a week, maybe 2 weeks, by definitely in December, by December, uh, by mid-December, whenever it is announced, it will be soon. So they want to impose a price cap on Russian oil. They want to decide what is the highest price at which the Russians can sell their oil. Yeah, and they want India. They were saying that they want India to abide by the American price cap on Russian oil. Means don't pay more than this much amount to the Russians for the oil you purchase from them. India said no. Now the American and India kept saying no, we will not do this. We will buy oil from Russia at discounted rates, and it's between India and Russia. It's nothing to do with the US. You will not dictate to us what we do. That's what India's position has been throughout. Now the Americans are saying, okay, India does not have to abide by with the price cap. Go buy as much as you want. But the problem is this: India does not have a fleet of oil tankers. India, for the past 70 years, has not bothered to invest in a major fleet of oil super tankers, which means that India, for more than 90% of its oil imports, has to depend on oil tankers, ships that belong to other nations. Now, whenever you're doing this, you need what's called insurance. And there are some other things as well. And the Americans and this insurance thing, all of that is controlled by the West. So whenever you have this oil shipment coming through, you need to acquire insurance for it. For whatever reason, if something goes wrong, you will be reimbursed the money. If there is an accident, if the oil tanker is diverted, if somebody else, if some pirates steal it, or whatever can go wrong. If something goes wrong and you don't receive the oil, then it will be reimbursed. That's why you buy insurance. The insurance providers are all Western. And if India goes ahead with this, the West will not be willing to insure these oil supplies to India. And if there is no insurance, then the oil will not be available. Of course, India can do some circumvention of this. Um, you know, there are some shadowy tankers available that don't belong to any nation, then which can be acquired without any insurance and all that. But it's much more high risk. It's risky. So, because India has not invested in its own national fleet of oil super tankers, that's why India is now facing this conundrum. So, the thing is, okay, you buy oil at whatever price you want, but we will not insure your oil supplies. So, you will not be able to um, use Western tankers or whatever. So, they're trying to make things very difficult for India. Yeah. So that's the situation India is in right now. So what does India do about this? Do the Russians have enough tankers to send to India? But even if something happens, then India will lose money. Yeah. Or do we cooperate with the Chinese? Will the Chinese be willing to cooperate? So that's the kind of situation India is facing right now. So India and Russia want to trade without any external interference. India wants to buy. I think, if I am not mistaken, Russia is now the number two or number three supplier of oil to India. Maybe the number one. I'm not sure. It was not even in the top 10, but now it's in the top three. That's how much oil India is buying from Russia, which has been the lifeline for Russia. Yeah. And that's how the Russians have been able to ensure that they don't have to go begging to China. And that's why the Russians are still an independent, de facto, a genuinely independent nation. The Chinese have not been able to make Russia their vassal state because of the Indian purchases of enormous amounts of Russian oil. Now, this situation is around the corner. So, India will have to find a solution to that. So, that's where we are. So, India will insist that it's going to buy oil at whatever price it decides or it negotiates with Russia. The Americans are no one to dictate. They have no right to dictate to us what price cap to use and all that. But now this new spanner has been thrown in the works. So let's see in what direction things go. But yeah, it's complicated right now, and India will have to find a solution to this problem.